fans over here with Keith Connolly. How are you?
Great to see you again.
We have a fight coming up tomorrow night. What can you tell us, from this great card?
I have a couple guys on the card. Rashad Matty, he's a big-time prospect coming up. He's 2-0. He was the National Golden Gloves champion last year, so I'm excited about that. We also have Chris Algieri fighting Gennady Gonzalez. When Chris beats Gennady Gonzalez, he'll probably be fighting Mauricio for the 140-pound title by the summertime. That's the game plan Saturday night, and I expect all my guys to win.
Yeah, I would say that's going to be a great card tomorrow night. And when it comes to Chris Algieri, I gotta say that he's a tough opponent. So I think that's going to be a great card and good test for Danny Gonzalez.
Yeah, it's a good test. I mean, Gennady Gonzalez is going to bring everything. That's the type of fighter he is. Chris is way too skilled. There's a difference between a good fighter and an elite world-class fighter. Chris is up in that level. He's a former world champion, and I expect Chris to really, really look good. And like I said, don't be surprised if he fights and wins a title this summer.
Definitely, a lot of fans, they want to come and see what's going to happen tomorrow. Recently, a few hours ago, they announced Danny Jacobs, Canelo for May. What can you tell us, from this card?
We got that over the line. It was a grueling negotiation, but it was the fight that DAZN wanted. It was the fight that Eddie Hearn wanted, and obviously it was the fight that Canelo Alvarez wanted. Canelo Alvarez is a great champion. He never ducks anybody. He's always fought tough guys, and Danny's the same way. So, I mean, in my eyes, they're the two best middleweights in the world, because I think Danny beat Triple G. That's my opinion. So it's going to unify the division. We're going to see who the true middleweight world champion is. And Danny's been telling me for years that stylistically, he thinks Canelo is a great fight for him. And I agree, because Danny's got foot speed, height, reach. And I think you're going to see an epic fight May 4th. And, we're going to be on top of the world. So we just got that deal done today. I'm excited that it got announced. I'm excited for my guy, Danny Jacobs. And like I said, I couldn't have done it without, one, Danny Jacobs having the trust and confidence and letting me negotiate for him. I couldn't have done it without Eddie Hearn, who's my guy. Eddie Hearn, the greatest promoter in the world. When he wants to get something done, he does. And John Skipper, who runs DAZN. He played a major part in it, as well as Eddie Hearn, doing whatever it took to get the fight done. It wasn't easy, but we got the biggest fight, I think, in boxing done. That and Wilder Joshua are the two biggest fights in the world.
Oh, wow.
Now.
Those are...
So one of them we got done.
Those are one of the, great fights that a lot of fans, especially in New York, because, Danny Jacobs, the fight fans always support Danny Jacobs when it comes, whoever it's in front of him. I know recently he had this fight, against Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Hey, a lot of people, I know it's hard for you, but a lot of people, this is what the fight fans, and I've been asking some of the people, they saw, the Sergiy Derevyanchenko winning on that fight. A lot of people, they said, no, Danny, but...
Listen, everybody has their opinion. I manage both guys. Danny Jacobs I've been with since he was 16 years old. He's like my family. But I also represent Sergiy Derevyanchenko. He's a gentleman. He's got a beautiful wife, a cute kid. He's a great guy, and he's a great fighter. So right now, he is fighting Jack Colque in an IBF eliminator. That's going to happen in the next few months. Lou DiBella won the purse bid this week. So we're going to stage the fight most probably on a PBC show. And once he wins that, he actually becomes the mandatory for the Canelo-Danny Jacobs fight. So, we could see a rematch if fans thought it was a close fight, and some people thought Danny won, some people thought Sergiy won. Once Danny becomes the unified champion, that'll be an easy fight for me to set up because I represent both guys.
Both of them, great guys. And on that night, I've been asking people, how did they, see the style of Sergiy. Some of the people that I asked, they said that he has a little bit of style like Triple G. Do you agree a little bit with him?
Not really. Triple G's got a unique style. He's got, the way he holds his hands isn't traditional, but he lands a high percentage of his jabs. Might be one of the best jabs of all time. It's used as a power punch. Sergiy Derevyanchenko, I actually think, is a little bit more athletic than Triple G. He just doesn't have the one-punch power that Gennady has. So they're two different styles. They're both great fighters. But the one thing I am happy for Sergey is that even though Danny beat him and now is a titleist, he showed that he's a real fighter, and that put him on the map. So he proved to people what I've been saying for 2-3 years. I've been telling Lou DiBella, Al Heyman, everybody that would listen, Sergey Derevyanchenko is the real deal. And I'm not saying people didn't believe me, but I think after he fought Danny Jacobs, he really proved to people the type of fighter that I thought he was.
Oh yeah, I really experienced on my behalf, like how, the style that he brought on that night. Everybody that were, like cheering for Derevyanchenko and then for Danny Jacobs. That was
the great thing about both those guys is they're both tremendous fighters, but they're both better people. And that's what I like. That's the fun part about managing, is that if I get involved in the guy that I like, you get that emotional connection to him, and you always want them to do well. So, for me, it was hard that night. Obviously, I stood in Danny Jacobs' corner because that's my guy. I mean, Danny Jacobs has been with me since he was 16. He's like family. So, I told Sergey that going into the fight, and I wanted him to do well and come out better than he went in, and he did that. So me and Sergey, we're still together. We have a great relationship, and we're back in a good spot. He's the mandatory if he wins this next fight.
Derevyanchenko, because I know and that he has a style that can complicate to any middleweight boxer. Even Danny Jacobs said it after he fought Sergiy. He says any middleweight that wants to come and try to think that he's an easy fighter, hey, you guys are wrong.
No,
so.
Danny said he's one of the best fighters he ever fought. Listen, anytime Danny Jacobs is in a competitive fight, that guy's a world-class fighter, because Danny Jacobs, when it's all said and done with, will be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, if he had gotten a decision against Triple G, which again a lot of people had him winning, he'd be the undisputed middleweight champion right now. So now we're going to go prove that we are on May 4th. Then we're planning on fighting Triple G, to get back what was rightfully ours, which is the victory. And I'm telling you, Danny Jacobs over the next 12 months will solidify himself as a Hall of Famer. Sergey, he's not as well known, but I'm telling you, great person, great man, great fighter, and you haven't seen the best of Sergey Derevyanchenko. So I'd be very careful if I was somebody out there that was thinking about fighting Sergey Derevyanchenko. Just because he lost to Danny Jacobs doesn't mean anything. He's still an elite fighter.
No, he's like I said, Danny said it. A lot of fans, they were witnesses. So, hey, I just, like I spoke before with Sergiy, I said, I wish you the best, and I know you're coming back, way better than we saw you then.
That's not going to stop him. He's got a great kid. He's got a great son, cute son. Great wife that she's behind him 100%. She motivates him, and he's got the inner workings of a champion. He wants to go back and get to the top. And I hope that Sergey and Danny don't ever have to fight again. Because it was an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
Having to be in, not having to be in Danny's corner. I wanted to be in Danny's corner because I'm always there, and I've been there for 15 years. But
you're right.
To have two guys fighting each other that I have a relationship for, and Danny didn't want to fight him either, but the title was there. Sergey didn't want to fight him, but he did because the title was there, and it's business. So, but I think Sergey against Canelo, Sergey against Triple G, obviously Sergey against Danny, and Sergey against any of these top middleweights is really going to be really competitive fights.
I agree with you. 2019, it's coming, with great fights ahead, and we just gotta stay tuned and witnesses of all of that.
We already announced a mega fight May 4th, Danny Jacobs against Canelo Alvarez.
And one of the prospects, one of the prospect and future champions over here.
On the card tomorrow. This guy 3 years from now will be a champion between 140 and 147, wherever he decides to settle. This kid's got, for 20 years old, if you see some of the moves he has a lot of the old-time moves that the old-time fighters had in the 50s and 60s, and this guy is young, but he's a winner,
Oh yeah, I mean,
he's gonna be a hard out, and I'm telling you, I'm guaranteeing that he will be a world champion, depending on how quickly we bring him along, 100% the next 3 to 5 years.
I agree with you. A lot of people from the first fight, so he's might gonna get a lot of girls. I remember when I saw him for the first time, he put a great show in his first fight, and a lot of people started loving him because, hey,
Well, he's charismatic. He's got power. He's got all the moves.